Are you recording already? You can start it all over maybe,
No.
or no?
This is what editing is for.
Okay, alright. Hello, good afternoon. We are Jukka Juslin and
Danny Goodrich.
today we are going to build a brand new plane for you. As a first step is the unboxing. Danny will handle that.
This is a rubber-powered kit made by a company that was in business in Finland for 70 years, but is no longer. So it's kind of a memorial build. Whoa, look at all that rubber. Enough for many airplanes. Balsa wood sticks, a pair of wheels, wire for the landing gear, a stack of ribs, a motor stick, plans with orange covering, and instructions in Finnish. But you know what? We never use the instructions anyway, so it doesn't matter to me. With this kind of kit, the airplane gets built right on the plans. And we cover the plans with wax paper or plastic so that it doesn't get glued to the plans. It occurs to me that maybe we should put the spar down first. Take our ribs, put the ribs on. Because the rib spacing, these physical ribs might be a slightly different dimension than the plan. And the one thing in common they would have would be, oh, that's on top, it's not on the bottom.
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
All right, ribs on top.
I think you should, so let's do
Ribs
it like
kind
that.
of like that.
Yes. And
Maybe.
do we make the whole wing already or just one side of it, because we need to glue it? And okay.
I don't know.
And
I guess we need to put ribs down, don't we?
yes, pretty much. Let's make the whole wing.
Yep. Since we didn't read the instructions, we do have to make this up as we go, but
We will get that
that's
place.
no problem.
Why did we leave this open here? This
Oh, it's just
end?
needs to slide. Oh, that really holds down pretty well. There. There are two ribs here that are. No, how does this spacing work?
I think we can.
Oh,
We will.
it's one rib in the middle and then two other things to hold it.
We will end up having a lot of spare parts, I think, which is always good. When you break the plane, then you can go back to all the parts which weren't used for the plane.
Is that how we got the word partner?
I think it's the same origin. Usually different wing halves are different, and by accident you might make wrong wing parts, but now we are very professional and we don't have that problem in this design.
What would you think of attaching the spar to one end rib so it can't?
Yeah.
because we can be sure that it terminates at one rib. Why don't we make it the camera end rib?
Yeah, why not? I mean, it's attached here and here, you mean? Or
Sure. Each end rib would work too.
yeah, why not? Yeah.
All right.
And then we glue it already, you
We
mean?
make, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so this, I'm holding this vertical. Put a drop of glue on there.
Shall we do thin or medium?
Thin glue.
This is a
Thin glue.
thin cyanoacrylate, which is says made in Taiwan. The previous, they are all says made in Taiwan.
So I'm your jig. I'm holding that down in place. I've got the...
Usually we glue our hands to the plane or even to each other, or even worse. So let's see. Shall we use kicker?
No, it's fine.
Okay. Cyanoacrylate was, according to my knowledge, invented in Vietnam, but I don't know if that is probably correct. So, yes.
I have found evidence that a precursor to cyanoacrylate glue was developed by Chrysler Corporation in World War II.
Okay. So
They were building tail assemblies for P-40s.
my info is incorrect, but
Well,
so shall we glue this end or that now?
let's
Okay, let's
all right. We can do this.
I mean, whatever you
Yeah.
think.
It'll save a lot of pinning.
Since we have 4 hands, it's easier. If you are building with 2 hands, you might go to gene manipulation or, well,
I think Johann Sebastian Bach did it this way. Didn't he have some things that were 4 hands?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think I will specialize on gluing. Gluing is an important aspect in this kind of project because you shouldn't use too much glue. It will increase the weight of the plane.
An interesting thing that I'm experiencing is that my left finger out here
Yes.
on a couple of ribs has been kind of stuck.
Okay.
So it's wicking.
Yeah, very long way.
Wicking very well.
There is a what is it called? There is the wood is full of small pipes.
Capillaries. Capillary action.
Capillary
that is
action we
it.
have, yes.
And we are exercising vocabulary action.
Yes.
Yeah. See how many rhyming things we can think of.
Now we get back focused on the task on hand and make progress.
As they say in Sweden, taskamika.
Okay. Yeah, ja visst. Usually celluloid glues are used in this kind of application, and this is against the religion of many builders, but this is slightly faster to do. Celluloid glue has a positive side that you with acetone you can redo your gluings whenever you want, but this cannot be redone, never.
Never say never. Okay. All right.
Personally, I use kicker usually always, but it works this way.
This glue
as
is
well.
fresh.
Yes.
Uh,
Shall we glue some more?
I'd say you could get these
Yes.
3.
Sometimes we need for a plane wash in, and I would kinda insist some wash in on the left wing.
Wash out.
Wash in, it's usually on the left wing.
We're probably talking the same thing and using a different word for it.
Because wash out is negative angle and wash in is positive angle. But we might not reach a conclusion, so I will just proceed gluing, because progress is most important and not that's not touching this wood at all at the moment.
Wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. Yes.
Well, that would be a problem.
Yes. Houston, we have a problem. Failure is not an option. Yes, so we had a pause here. We had a mathematical discussion about the power vectors and did a couple of Fourier and Laplace transforms, and we came, but now we have the disagreement of place going on right now. We are going without wash out on the left wing, which I've been insisting to get, but can we do anything about it, I wonder? We can put some stick under here and maybe not. Yeah,
too much?
I think this is kinda the standard.
Here, let me. Well, if you want to get under both.
So we got an agreement that we need wash in on the left wing. Now
I have no personal knowledge of free flight.
Yeah.
And I was thinking it would be wash out on both wings like a full-scale controlled plane. But this is a free flight plane, and control has to be exercised before you let the model go.
Yes.
And so that is, have I got that right?
Yes.
So we're putting a positive angle of incidence here, so this tip generates more left
yes.
to counteract the propeller forces.
Yes.
There, forces, that's a good word.
Yes.
Okay. So do I just hold these together and let it, or do I hold it down?
I don't, it's kind of up to your taste.
All right. Is it true that in the southern hemisphere propellers have to turn the other way because of Coriolis force?
You can also do the same, but everything rotates the other way on the other side, so be always careful with the Coriolis force.
Yes.
Oops, now I made a failure.
May the force be with you.
Yes.
Is that what they were referring to?
Yes.
Of Coriolis. Of Coriolis. Okay. Of Korsakov. Maybe that's it. Try my fake Russian accents out.
Okay, did we complete the wing? Pretty much.
The wing is made.
Then we have to do some bigger things. We really have to do is rudder and elevator, and we will skip the landing gear, I think, to minimize the duration of the project at the moment.
Okay. Right now we're going to have to move the paper for this.
Yes.
We can do this, but so what do we want to do? To turn it, say, okay, we have the wing done, and we're going to turn the paper 90 degrees because of our building board?
Yes. So, yes, we have the wing done, and we will rotate the plans so that we can build the elevator.
Currently, we're off of our building board, so
Yes. And here we have some extra edges which I will shorten so that they are not outside of it anymore.
what did I do? I'm so strong I broke a pin. How old is that pin?
I don't know. Yep. So shall we make elevator or and yes. Yes, or rudder.
Cut sticks. This is closest to the camera. Make them. You can make the leading and trailing edges overly long.
I could specialize on cutting and then we have the construction department somewhere else. Or
Only the
yeah,
do you have sandpaper?
yeah, I have sort of at least.
So we have the trailing edge of this. Now, the next critical ones are these two end ribs in the center, and this needs to be a nice butt joint. So you can take a piece of sandpaper on a block, or this is a fingernail board, and make this end as squarish as you can, so that you get a decent joint. So should we just continue with our holding, or do you
Let's do gluing, or what do you think, or not?
I can't tell if I have it lined up correctly. It's pretty good, I guess. Okay. And I have to hold this here while I take the knife like this. I'm going to match this angle. And it's got to fit inside there. With a sharp knife you can kind of just bowl through it. We'll square off this end. It's amazing how your eye can see a square end once you've done it enough times.
Yes, some people can even feel if they have 5 or 6 grams on their hands.
Okay. Ah, and then I moved it. I squinted wrong.
Usually we often use, for example, a doctor's knives they use in operations. I have several of those there available. They are very sharp to cut the skin, and with those kind of knives you get a very nice cut.
So now we'll go.
Glue could be also put with injection needles, IV injection needles, but that's usually the case for smaller structures. I also have some needles, I think.
I'm usually the bull in the china shop. So obviously this middle is a bit angled, And the question is, you have to judge whether, yeah, that kind of comes together pretty well. And am I on the lines?
Yeah, I think so. Oops.
I'm sure that the designer would be frowning at us, wouldn't he?
Yes. Doesn't say who it was on the plans.
We'll just trim this close and sandpaper will make it fit flush. So now the center section rib. Do you want to do this one?
I can just...
I will be the pins.
Oh, the center one. Okay,
Yes.
right. So we can make it up to the form. Oh, it's not up to the form at all. So we can erase what we just did.
That's the beauty of sandpaper.
Yes. So now it's much better without making the forms to match. And
He's going to mark it and then remove it to cut it.
yes, now we have a mark and then we can, oops, cut it. Yes.
Is oops an international sign of trouble?
Yes. And then we go ahead and glue. The stabilizer should be all straight for good. Oops, I put too much glue. So now we have it almost complete.
This one didn't.
Yeah, it didn't glue it. No.
No, now it took. All right. And again, we trim this close and sand it to fit. Excuse me.
Yes.
We'll have to re-glue it. I haven't got a glue.
Yes, yes. Me neither.
How did that happen? I haven't got a glue. Okay.
Now we have a stabilizer. Then we need a rudder. Let's continue the excellent teamwork. Is this the right material, like us?
Yeah, I think so.
Shall we glue it already?
I think cut that piece to length, to the length it ought to be. Remember, it's at the angle of this. Okay. Well, so this needs to be at the angle of our leading edge. And that would be like, see, because it fits inside that piece. So we have to make this like this.
Oh yeah, I took it wrong.
Okay. Now we can glue the trailing edge. There. And let's make this piece across. Then the last piece can just be long.
Yeah.
This is a rectangular thing, not square, so I think you have to tip. Am I wrong? No,
yeah.
you're right. You're right.
I don't know.
I'll be this side of it. Or no, you're right. Micromanaging. Okay.
Yep, just a second.
There has to be some voiceover.
There have to be
music.
sound effects, yes. Histrionics. Canine histrionics. And if you hold that one down,
I didn't figure out how to make this video several times more speedy.
Jukka.
Yeah, you could maybe have some close-ups also, because from that direction can't see anything what is going on in here.
It's been close.
Yeah. So I will take my fingers away. There's
Yep.
our basic,
Yep,
and we'll now use a knife and sandpaper to. Here.
Yeah.
And we'll now use the sand and the knife, sandpaper to make these ends even. There we go.
yeah, you are kind of closer there for a right-hand person to
Yeah.
do that.
Okay. I'm going to use my knife here just to make a nice long. Boy, that went extremely well. Bet I can't do that again. I told you I couldn't do it again.
Should you use saw-like motion or
I was
No.
trying to be very gentle, but what I found is by pulling, I was pulling away from the joint, trying to break it. So I turned it this way so that I could
Yeah.
pull the joint together. Now, you can see the edges are just a little bit long.
Yes.
So, and this fingerboard is not exactly straight, but now the ends are even. That's very close to being okay. Just the way it is. Okay, so those, you can't feel any drag there, so
Yeah.
that will sit
Yes.
on the motor stick. Well, actually, it'll sit on top of the
Yeah. The elevator.
elevator. And we need to do that same sanding trick with the elevator.
And we don't need the plans in this kind of form anymore, so we can move them.
You know what my mother always told me? One
No.
sanding a day keeps the doctor away.
Oh yes, that's true. Yes.
So how are we going to cover these?
We have one easy solution for covering. Easiest one is to use the paper glue, sort of easiest to understand.
Glue stick.
Glue stick.
Boy, that's the greatest invention. Uh-oh, Pauline fell down.
Yes. So we can glue it and then put paper.
So I'll
Shall we use sandpaper to cut it, or?
we'll trim it with sandpaper. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I will put glue. Today we seem to have a problem with the maiden test flight program, because the wind is very high, but we will still progress with the construction. Can we make it, or does it make sense
Just
to
halfway close, but Is it kind of close up here?
Yeah.
All right. So the interesting thing about these tissue things is you don't need to cut it flush. You can merely sand the edge off. Am I doing this right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
the glue stick stuff is a little, it gets harder. The glue sets harder over time.
Yeah.
So you do have to be careful about pulling it loose at this time. I am going to pull this corner all the way up.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to lay it down like this so that I'm pressing down on the wood, not distorting the paper. I hope.
I hope there is glue on that spot.
Well, I think so.
And we have completed
Boil. Here is our pick a side.
Yeah, so the plane will turn.
Remember, we're only seeing here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, right. The plane will turn left, so we can cover this side which is facing the air if we want.
Oh,
Doesn't matter
I
though.
never thought of that.
I will make it look a little wider area because so that we are. Yeah, that's visible. Yeah.
Okay. So I have glue side up right now. I'll make it so well, you can position it if you haven't put it down.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing 3 sides this time.
Yep. And if you use plastic to cover the plane, then you can use a soldering iron to cut it, but with the paper case this sandpaper is easy. With these are called Japanese tissues, you can make nice colors for your plane. You can have American flag colors or Finnish flag colors or what you want. So both flags have blue and white.
Can I tear you away from your work?
Yes, you can do it now. Right. Do we already glue it there? How do we make it stick there? Just on the paper?
I think so.
Yeah. Well,
Probably with CA.
do we use thin or thick CA?
How about 3 dots of thick CA?
Yes.
And then we can do thin later.
Do we have any open ones? Yes.
Okay.
Now we don't have a straight angle with us, but we can take a look with the eyes.
The eyes have it.
Mm.
Now, do you want to add a couple drops of thin
Well,
once
yeah,
we get it? Once
it-
it's sort of set
yeah,
there.
it's not set.
Is it still wiggly?
Yeah, the
Okay.
front is
I'm
not.
going to turn this a little bit so that you can.
Oh, we need it for the wing.
Oh,
Let's
yeah,
not
I didn't mean to.
destroy.
I didn't mean to crumple it. I'm sorry. So you can see this drop will run down the crack. No?
Yes,
Did?
it did, I think so. I can see it all the way.
Seems. So we'll let that set a while. I'm sorry, I crumpled. Iron. I didn't even realize I was doing that. Do you want to make a white wing?
I think that orange is fine.
Okay.
So shall I glue it,
I think so.
or do we first break it from the
Oh,
center?
yeah. So this wing needs to have dihedral, which means the tips are higher compared to the center. And of course, we built a straight wing. And a common way to do this is to just crack these sticks. How much dihedral do we need? We might have to look at the instructions after all. The plans show us? Do the
We
plans show us dihedral?
I
Okay,
like the way
they do.
Danny is taking a look at the Finnish instructions.
So if you look at, yeah. So we can see that these wing tips are higher than the center. And what's this telling us?
Yeah, it's 60 millimeters.
So the total dihedral is 60 millimeters,
But yes,
which is
yeah. If we
how many meters?
yeah, 60,
How do we crack it?
60. If it's 60, oh yeah, right.
it's total 60.
Yeah, total 60. Yeah.
30 on each, a total of 60.
Yes.
So, then you have more experience than I. How
Yeah,
do we
but-
crack it?
Oh, well, I can go ahead and do some kind of cracks here. Is this the center? 1, 2.
Yes. Sort of controlled destruction.
Yes. Destruction engineer is on the job. Oops.
It'll
That was-
reglue. We'll
that
probably
was
have to reglue
uncontrolled.
anyway.
Do we glue it already now, or what do you think?
Yeah, I
This
think we
one-
do try to get it to the right amount of dihedral, and then
The center one is problematic. We will need to shorten it up a lot. Or what do you think? Maybe do you have better touch on maybe you are the master of,
oh
of
yeah, the
the
master.
center place. This one needs to move a lot in when it's
Yeah.
coming up.
So I think we crush it this way, so that because to tip it needs to be it needs some material removed from the center. So I'm crushing it to the left and the right from above to give it space to bend into. We did that. Actually, it actually, kind of, sort of, almost works. See,
What if we...
The main rib is higher than these, so you see
Mm.
it creates a bind.
We need about 60 millimeter.
And we need to actually remove some material from this
This
top
is,
middle one,
This is 60. So.
because it ends up being physically shorter than the
Yes.
leading edge. All right, well, we now have the basically completed airplane. We have yet to balance it, test fly it. Okay, so here goes the first test flight. Kill the cameraman.
We got it set out quite fine, and we would say the product is pretty good. Unfortunately, you cannot buy it from anywhere though.
Well, at the end of the first airplane I've ever built in this country, I'd like to say, fin!